Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Retro Spider-Man fan channel exclusive Black Cat. Not a figure I thought we would be getting again since we just got a Black Cat not long ago in the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave. I know it's been, I guess almost 2 years now, but you know, a lot of figures in that wave nobody really wanted, especially this version of Black Cat. So we have a new one. We had one in the first wave of Infinite series when it got rebranded, and now we have a new one which uses a lot of the same parts. There are some differences in the head sculpt and the feet, which is great because these damn heels, they were horrible to get her to stand. But I love the card back and the packaging and everything. The Toy Biz inspired Spider-Man the Animated Series card. It just looks incredible. That artwork looks like Black Cat straight from the cartoon, even though I don't believe any of the figures are actually based on the cartoon itself. More so comics, but you know, obviously the entire presentation is kind of a throwback to that. Here it says it includes cat and whip. So we have the whip, we have the cat. Here on the back of the package, we have a look at the figure based on some promo artwork and the artwork that's on the front. And the bio for her reads, Black Cat is the most confident, cunning burglar the world has ever seen. Donning a black costume and mask, heiress Felicia Hardy changes into her superhero persona and prowls the streets with Spider-Man at her side. That bio makes it definitely sound like she's more a hero, good guy, instead of a villain. So she's kind of gone back and forth. There are times where she's good, times where she's not so good. So that bio definitely makes her sound like more on the good side for her. So let's get to it. Open her out of the package, take a look at the whip and the cat, do a comparison with that previous release, or both previous release versions, and see how she looks next to Spider-Man. Okay, and here is the Black Cat figure out of the package, and yep, it's a good one. It's hard to say which one is going to be better, this one, or if you prefer the one from the Ultimate Green Goblin wave, back in wave 1 of Infinite series. It's nice to definitely have a new one, I guess, because this one does look really, really good, and it just presents well in the packaging. I think at this point there's probably been so many newer collectors that have come into the Marvel Legends collecting world that definitely would not have had a chance to get this Black Cat, or doesn't want to pay whatever it might be going for on eBay. I don't even know how high it is, what the value is. I haven't checked, and if I've ever even checked, I have no idea, because I got this, you know, way back when. So it's definitely nice that people have an opportunity to get a more classic looking Black Cat, you know, one that's, you know, better than this one. Not that this one's terrible, but it's also not great. So now we actually have a great Black Cat figure. So let's zoom in and take a look at her accessories, and then we'll zoom in and take a look at the figure itself. Just keep in mind, again, it's a repaint, and the head sculpt's been used about 100 different times, but every time they do it, they make it look like it's a different head sculpt. So kudos Hasbro. Let's zoom in. Okay, so to start off the accessories, we have the Black Cat accessory that she comes with. Black Cat, get it? Get it? Wink wink, nudge nudge. This is a repaint of the Goose Flurkin cat that we got in the Captain Marvel Kree Sentry Build-A-Figure wave. The Captain Marvel that came with the bomber jacket. So this is the same exact thing, just in all black plastic with a little bit of green painted in for the eyes. Reusing stuff like this doesn't bother me in the slightest because it absolutely makes sense. So it's cool that we get that. She also comes with this whip here. So you got black for the handle, white for the whip portion, and then the claw portion there is all just painted in silver, and that looks pretty good. We've actually seen this a couple of times. The original Black Cat from the Ultimate Goblin figure wave, Build-A-Figure wave, also came with this, but I think it was mostly black, and I think had some silver paint on it. And then most recently in the San Diego Comic-Con Hasbro PulseCon box set that came with the Black Queen, we have the same whip, is just all in black. So this has been used a couple of different times now, so that's what we get. Now let's zoom in for the figure. Okay, so there's an up-close look at the Felicia Hardy Black Cat head sculpt. So again, this one has been used a bunch of different times, and you may not have known that because with the different paint apps of the makeup and whatever else they're doing on there, it's really hard to tell that this head sculpt gets used over and over and over again. Just off the top of my head, I know that it came with the Moonstone figure, which is also, you know, this figure also uses some of the Moonstone body. So that figure, I believe, was the first one to use it. We got it in the Dark Phoenix 2-pack Toys R Us exclusive with Cyclops. It was also the same head sculpt that was used for the Gamora figure in the Entertainment Earth Guardians of the Galaxy box set. It was used... I can't think of it. I know it's been used more than that. It's been used so many different times. So this one is just the latest time that it's used. But it works. It looks so good when they change up the different paint apps on the makeup on the figure. You really can't tell that it's the same one, other than, of course, the hair. The hair gets used along with that head sculpt every single time as well. So then it kind of gets repetitive. But it looks really, really good. Hasbro just did a great job with it. They put gray in the hair. They put gray in the fur on the arms, the fur on the boots. Just really, really nice. Way better than the crazy blue that they did on the previous one from the Ultimate Goblin Wave with all that blue. Now, the blue kind of works depending on how you look at the shading and whatnot. It kind of brings out some of the details of the hair to kind of show some of the texture. So that works. I just think the gray comes out a little bit better. And then this blue, I think, was a little bit heavy. You know, looking at it now, at the time, I didn't think it was. But looking at it now, definitely. So it's really, really, really nice the way it came out. But the head sculpt, the paint, the eyeshadow, the makeup, the lipstick, the mask, it just came out perfect. Hasbro did such a good job. Now, it could just be I got super lucky and mine came out looking great. I would definitely, if you have a chance, it's hard with fan channel exclusives because you don't really find them in stores too much. It's mainly an online thing, but if you go to your local comic shop, at some point I'm sure they'll be getting these. You know, maybe they have a few that you can look at to really choose, but you know, I definitely got really lucky and just came out looking gorgeous. I really, really like that. Here we have a collar piece. On the other one, that collar was part of the torso, it was sculpted on. This one is a floating piece, so if you pop the head off, you can remove that. That is the same one that came with the Black Queen as well, I believe. So it's all black. Silver for the buckle and then silver for those spikes going on there. The figure for the most part is all black with a little bit of white for the gloves, the boots, and then again that gray shading through the hair and the fur, but just looks really, really nice. So now let's zoom out for her articulation, which isn't enough for the character because she's super agile. She moves around like a cat, reflexes like a cat, right? She doesn't have that movement. None of the female figures do, but let's take a look at it. Okay, so Felicia Hardy's articulation. This upper torso is kind of an older one, so there's actually no hinge on the neck. So it's just whatever movement the head can kind of go on that ball peg there. So down, not really a whole lot. Up is not going to happen whatsoever because of that hair is just going to get in the way. So don't even bother trying. It's not going to work. She gets some side-to-side motion, but again, the hair with the shoulders, you're not going to get a whole lot going on in there. Pivot, not really either. Shoulders, you can get the shoulders to go up, yeah, that high. You get a full rotation, of course. It's typical female figure. You know, G.I. Joe just got announced. Lady J has double jointed elbows and they're pinless. Hasbro can do it. They're just not doing it on Marvel Legends for whatever reason. That's going to be a big old topic of discussion amongst a lot of Facebook groups, I'm sure. Swivel at the elbow. It is single jointed, so you're going to get a bend that much. Not a whole lot going for it at all. Wrists swivel and the hinge. These have the vertical hinge on those clawed hands, and it's the same for the left and the right, the vertical hinge. We have a diaphragm joint because it's a female figure. That's just what they do. She can pivot to her left that much. She can pivot to her right that much. She can go back that much. She can go forward very, 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 very little, which is unfortunate. And then we have the twist at that diaphragm because there is no waist swivel, but she can get her legs to go out that far apart. She can kick forward kind of out and to the side that much, as you can see there. She has an upper thigh cut there. We get a double jointed knee like so. There is no swivel at the boot, so you know, foot hinges all the way down, hinges up quite a bit, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and she has flat feet and not those damn heels that this one came with. So now, let's see the side by side. Oh, before the side by side, one thing I forgot to mention, when you get these legs. She's super over hyper extends on the knee, which is really weird why they had a design that was like that on the hinge. So you always have to have it kind of bent out a little bit for it to actually be a straight leg. So they just did a little bit too deep of a cut for that point of articulation. Just kind of weird. Thought I'd point it out. Okay, so the two Black Cat figures side by side. This one is way taller, and that's because of those heels. And then some of that might be in the torso because they do have different upper torsos. You know, this one has the fur collar that with the drooping neckline, which really exposes her chest and major cleavage that she is showing. The new one doesn't have any cleavage. Doesn't bother me. I know some folks, some collectors, it's important to them because in the comics that's what you have seen. Not so much now, and then we have to think Hasbro, you know, is a family-oriented company. They're not going to do so much cleavage anymore, and I think that's they kind of have mentioned that they wouldn't be using the Moonstone body anymore, but lo and behold, we just got two basically repaints, reissues, re-releases with that Moonstone body. It's just one of those things, but that's not something that really bothers me. And then the paint apps were kind of weird because they used a black base and then the skin tone paint, and you see some of the black coming through. It just kind of didn't come out so well. But that's the size difference between there. It's just those damn heel boots that really makes her hard to stand. Ooh, I got it. Look at that. So there she is. Now let's add in Spider-Man. Wow, look at that. I got her to stay again. In my DTOF, it's always like the hardest thing to get to stand. I'm looking at Spider-Man. If we want to look at the two, just Black Cat and Spider-Man, you can see the size difference there. Spider-Man is taller, so I think they actually look really good side by side. And I keep forgetting, and I think most people probably do because they just don't care so much about this figure, so we have this Black Cat figure as well. And one thing that this Black Cat didn't do, they didn't do any kind of shading in her hair. It was just all white and almost to a shiny point. This one looks to be a little bit taller, but you guys let me know down in the comments below. Out of the three Black Cat figures, which is your favorite? And I have a feeling this new one is probably going to win, but still a lot of folks are really going to like the Ultimate Goblin one. But let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so I'm sure it's going to come up. We'll try a couple of different head sculpts. So I popped this one off. Let's see how we can kind of move some of these different head sculpts around. But as you can see, no hinge there. So if we use the old head on this new body, that works, but it does look to sit a little bit high, and then the skin tone definitely doesn't work. And as you can see how the hair on the shoulders, not quite a good match in my opinion, so we're just going to pop that off because I don't really care for it. If we look at the one from the Kingpin wave, does this one fit on here? I'm not so sure that it does, but let's take a look at that. Move that collar piece down. And it doesn't really sit on there, but you know what? That would actually look really good. I kind of like the way that looks. So that could work if that's something that you wanted to do. And then let's look at the new head sculpt on the old Black Cat. And it just rests on there. It doesn't stay on there because of how the hair is sculpted and molded. It won't pop on there, but it could sit on there, and that would look really good as well. Look at that. I got it to stand so easily again. But you guys let me know if there's any different way, any variants that you kind of preferred. But I like to keep my head sculpts on the figure that they come with. Okay, so my final thoughts on this figure. I'm very pleased with it. Again, I'm going to have two, one to have open and one to hang on my wall with the other retro figures. I think the overall presentation is really the selling factor of this figure. But if you missed out on that Ultimate Goblin Black Cat figure, this one is one that you definitely want to pick up. I do not think you should pass on it. So order it. I'll have a couple of pre-order links in the video description below. It is a fan channel exclusive. So again, the only stores that you might see this in will be GameStop, maybe Best Buy, but I doubt it. And then any of your local comic shops. So it's going to be an online thing. So Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside Toys, Hasbro Pulse, even BestBuy.com. So all those online sites, that's where you're going to be able to get these. The same with J. Jonah Jameson, right? The fan channel exclusives. Some of you guys constantly ask me and leave comments, what's fan channel mean? I thought we were beyond this. It's been a few years since they started using that term. Fan channel refers to, you know, the specialty shops online, things like that. So you're not going to find at Walgreens, Target, or Walmart, none of those. It's going to be those specialty shops and online. So fan channel is just the specific term that Hasbro labeled them as, and I'm glad that they did instead of saying online exclusive. Well, it's like online, it just kind of streamlines it. So that's what's going on. So this is figure, I think, again, definitely do not want to pass on it, but I'm curious to know what you guys think of this figure. Let me know down in the comments below all your thoughts. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.